Welcome to Around the Way Sports. I'm your host, Jaron. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Yes, it is season 2, the first episode. I am back. Everybody's been asking me, when you coming back? It's football season again. Well, I'm here, people. And not only am I here, I got a friend with me, my man Marvin. Marvin, let the people know about you.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Marvin. Marvin from the Marvin Sports and Life podcast, also Facebook, also YouTube. I can be reached on all platforms. I'm here with this Florida Gator Eagles fan here to talk a little trash, a little NFL, a little fantasy football. Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem, Marvin. Known each other for at least a year now, and just every
Uh
time
huh.
I meet you or come across you, we always, converse about some sports. So it's good to finally have you on the podcast. On today's episode, we're gonna do just a full preview of everybody in the NFL, who we think gonna win the Super Bowl, our MVP picks, just a little bit of everything. But we gotta go ahead and get the elephant out the room. Marvin being a South Carolina Gamecocks fan, me being a Florida Gator fan, like he mentioned. Um, how did y'all lose to a basketball school on Saturday, Marvin?
I'm ready for Jake Bentley to be fired. I'm ready for Jake Bentley to leave us and go somewhere, go to another school. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of him. We up by 11 points in the fourth quarter. Let them come back. Our quarterback overside wide receivers wide open. Our quarterback overthrew two wide open receivers, and I'm ready for his ass to go going back, man. That's how we lost the game.
Well, I also think you got to put some blame on your head coach, though. Will Muschamp used to be the head coach at Florida, so I know a lot about him. And he's a defensive minded guy. That's what his bread and butter is on the defense. When you have a lead, like you mentioned, it's up to your defense to make those stops in crucial moments. So this really falls on Will Muschamp more than anybody. When your defense fail you, when your ace fails you, then that's when you got to take a look in the mirror. And I've been saying this for the longest. I think he's a great guy. I do not think he's a head coach. I think he is a defensive coordinator. And when he's just able to do that, I think that's where he really strides at. So until South Carolina makes that change and brings somebody else in, I think this is just what
Mm-hmm.
y'all gonna be. I mean, you look at South Carolina as a whole. You from South Carolina, you live in South Carolina. South
Yeah.
Carolina is known as a football state. You have South
Yes, it
Carolina,
is.
Georgia, Florida. Those are all football states. So when you allow the Alabamas, the Clemsons, Clemson is from South Carolina and all, but when you allow these power schools, Georgia, Florida's, to come in your own turf and recruit the best guys, then this is what happens to you. You lose games that you should win.
I'm with you, but on the flip side of that, I think those are two different arguments. The flip side is that since Muschamp has been at Carolina, besides those earlier Spurs years when Spurs had Frank Beaton or Sean Beamer, our head recruiter, he was getting top 10 recruiting classes. But besides that run, Muschamp has changed the spec where we getting a couple of 5-star recruits, 4-star recruits.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just not seeing the translate on the field, and
Mm-hmm.
that's my only thing. Because even at wide receiver, this thing we should have one of the best wide receiver tandems. We got we got one first round corner, JC Horn, and one potential first round corner, well, the second round corner in Muhammad. But it's not showing on the field. And I don't know whether it's the offensive coordinator or what, but I really still I put it back on Jake Bentley because they put him in position to win the game. And
Mm-hmm.
for your senior quarterback to play like that, it's trash. They started a Jake Bentley challenge. Can you make two slant passes? It's a challenge now.
Hey man, I mean I feel you with the quarterback issues. I mean, even though the Florida Gators won um 2 weeks ago now, we should have lost that game because of Felipe
Yep.
Franks. Felipe
Yep.
Franks, he has everything, but mentally, he cannot read defenses. So you don't know what Felipe you're gonna get, and it's frustrating as a fan because you see this guy. He has the arm, he has the size, he can run, he can take a hit. So he can do every single thing that you would want a quarterback to do, but he cannot read defenses, and he throws
No.
picks at the very worst time. So I mean, and I put out a post on my IG. It was like, pull the plug, Dan. But I know Dan Mullen is not gonna pull the plug. He feels as though Felipe is his best chance of winning this year. Even though I
Yeah.
prefer Emory Jones, our red shirt freshman, to play. He'll dual threat. He can do everything Felipe does, and I just think he's probably a better decision maker than Felipe. I done seen Felipe for 3 years now, and he
Yeah.
has his moments where he flash, and then he most of the time he is what everybody think he is.
I think
Um,
Felipe just had mental problem. It's like he's fighting his own demons. It's like he's fighting himself sometimes.
yeah, he had this little
Like,
rant on the sideline, to the ESPN cameras, telling them this is what he do. Then 2 drives later, you throw a pick. Is that
yeah,
what you do? You know,
yeah.
um, so I agree with that. He really has to grow up. Maturity is something that you need from your players, but you most definitely need that from your quarterback because that's the leader of the team, or that's who needs to be the leader of the team. Because without a quarterback, you're not going anywhere. That's with any sport.
Right about
But
that.
yeah, so it's a long season. Football is back. College football just started. Mostly, everybody has played now. Um, Anybody else that caught your eye though across college football landscape over this
Jalen
weekend?
Hurts.
Jalen
Jalen.
Hurts.
Jalen gonna. If we cuss on here, no cursing. Try to keep it clean. I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Who?
Me, I said the cursor. I said I want to make sure I try to keep my language clean.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You good? You can. Yeah. It's
Okay. Jalen Hurts is gonna mess around and get invited to New York City. Jalen Hurts might win the Heisman this year.
Well, if you listen to Skip Bayless, he already been proclaiming that because he's an
Skip said
Oklahoma
that.
Sooner fan. But
Skip said
nah,
that
he looked real good last night.
in the film because I'm like, so now that's where I get the question was. Sometimes it is coaching. I'm like, was coaching holding him back at Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
Because the way he set up in that pocket and was slinging that rock,
Mm-hmm.
he went from being non-drafted at all to a potential. Ain't too many quarterbacks coming out this year. Maybe two,
Oh, I know.
but
The quarterback from Oregon, he's gonna be coming out. A
yeah,
lot of people thought he could have went number one this year if he would have decided to come out. I know his name Justin. His
yeah,
last name is skipping me right now, but you have him, uh, Justin Fields. He was originally committed to Georgia, transferred when
yeah,
Georgia got Jason Easton, who actually transferred out of Georgia as well, and he's in Washington now, and he looked very good as well. But Justin Field at Ohio State, Ohio State, they recruit the best of the best, track and field. But he really, really looked good. He scored like 3 touchdowns in 6 minutes to start the game off. So I mean, he had a 51-yard touchdown run. So he can run, and he got an arm, So
yeah.
I like what I saw from him. Um,
The quarterback for Oregon name is Justin Herbert.
yeah, Justin Herbert. Yeah, and then,
Yep.
he had. I mean, Auburn is a good school. They're a sound school. They always gonna play good defense. The SEC school. So I mean, they had moments in that game, but at the end of the day, they just Oregon isn't known for defense. They're an offensive
No.
school. They have always been like that,
Yep.
way back with Chip Kelly. So
Yep.
it's not surprising that they surrendered the lead at the end of the game after Auburn been beating them and pounding them up all game. And Auburn, they took their lumps in the beginning of the game with their true freshmen. So it was a good game. I would say probably one of the best games outside of this Florida State versus
Boise State. I watched
Boise
that game.
State. Yes, Boise.
Boise State got two freshmen too.
Yes, he came from California. They said he was the highest rated quarterback they done had in school history. So, um, they Florida State could not stop the run, and that's a problem. If you can't stop the run, then you're gonna have a long day, and eventually it happened. Florida State, they was able to capitalize on some early turnovers from Boise State, and but in the second half, Boise State got it together and they came back and beat Florida State in Florida State at Tallahassee. The
Yeah, I'm
game was
like,
a
that's some talent. That was some
yeah.
talent. Florida State quarterback, he looks good. The freshman, true freshman.
Nah, he's not a true freshman.
I thought
He
they said he's a
actually
freshman. Well, they said well, they say he's a freshman. I thought.
Nah, he was originally there, but he got beat out by Francois, the other quarterback.
So he might be a redshirt freshman then.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Okay.
but yeah, I mean, he looked decent. I mean, yeah, they're running a new offense down there in Florida State in Tallahassee. I mean, so it shows some wrinkles. You know, they were spreading the ball out a little bit more, and you know, depending on what the defense shows them, then the quarterback can either run or pass. You know, some little option type stuff, RPOs. So I mean, it looked okay, but you know, when it comes down to the end of the year, when they come to Gainesville, we all know what's gonna happen, people. Chomp, chomp.
Mm.
Uh, but
Uh,
but now let's get to the meat and the bones, the steak and potato, like people like to say. The NFL. What a week we had. Zeke heating up on the contract discussions. You know, you
yep.
already know about Andrew Luck retiring, which we
Yep.
can talk about that, as well as Melvin Gordon continue to hold out. The owner actually said they would not negotiate with him until after the
Yep.
season. So
Yep.
uh, last night I was checking on Twitter and they were saying that Melvin Gordon followed the Eagles, the 49ers, the Falcons, and one other team, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of people thinking that he might get traded.
Who gonna give him that contract he want?
That's another thing. Yeah, the market value of running backs isn't like that. You know what I mean? The NFL do not value the running backs. Zeke is the best player on the Cowboys, and he's having to hold out with 2 years
Yeah.
on his contract just so he know he can get a contract.
But how you feel about now? This is my thing. I believe that. Much I hate the Cowboys. I believe that Zeke Elliott is the best running back in the league, hands down. But how do you feel? I think as though he should have played this year and try to get an early extension next year. But I think he's falling because Todd Gurley got his contract 2 years early, which the Rams are regretting that. I think that's my problem. I think Zeke should get paid, but I don't think it should be this year. I think it should be next year. And when people messing up, is they're trying to compare Zeke to Le'Veon Bell. They don't know Le'Veon Bell did this contract was franchised. They try to franchise tag him again. That's
Yeah,
when
the
he
Kirk
yelled.
Cousins.
Yeah. So I'm like, Zeke, now I think Zeke should have played this year. I think this next year they should have, after this year, paid him. Go ahead, scrap that contract and paid him. But Melvin Gordon, I think he could only completed one full season. He ain't Zeke.
No, I mean he's not there, but he is a top 10 running back. You don't think so?
I'm trying to think, but being a top 10 running back, he's a top 10 running back.
Yeah, I mean, look, just off of fantasy, I know he is. You got to think of, okay, you got Zeke, right? Let's name them
Yeah.
all. You got Zeke, Saquon, Le'Veon,
Uh,
Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Melvin Gordon. It's not in no particular order. I'm just naming the
Kareem
best.
Hunt, even though he got this little situation, I think Kareem Hunt is better than Melvin Gordon.
I mean, they the same to me, but okay, Kareem Hunt. Who else?
So he get in at number two. Okay, so that's he at 8.
Okay.
Can you agree with that? So if he at 8, he should get 8 money. If he not asking for 8 money. He asking for top 3 money.
Well, but here's the thing though, the market is only gonna continue to go up.
Yeah,
So
for percentage. Yeah, you're right. But still though, yeah. Would you want your team to pick up that contract, the Eagles?
yeah, I mean
Contract you want?
I would love to get Melvin Gordon. Would love it. But I just know we one of the teams that really do not value the running back position. We look at players that's on the last year of their rookie contract that teams do no longer want, and that's what we go after. Hence why we have Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard still has 1 year left on his deal. He's in a prove-it year. That's why we made the trade with the Bears, gave up a 5th-round draft pick for Jordan Howard. Then we drafted a running back, Miles Sanders, in the 2nd round. Another reason why when Shady got released, for everybody who doesn't know, LaShawn McCoy did get released by the Buffalo Bills. And we actually, before the draft, when free agent, like after the offseason, when free agency had started, we offered, a draft pick to the Buffalo Bills to get LaShawn McCoy back after we got DJ back. We wanted to bring the old band back. And the Buffalo Bills was acting like LaShawn McCoy was their pride and joy. They was requesting the sun and the moon. And just to turn around a couple of months later, you release him? That's just stupid. You know what I mean? If we would have got Shady in the offseason, we wouldn't have Jordan Howard. You know, looking at it, I would love to have Shady back. I love LaShawn McCoy, always one of my favorite Eagle players of all time. But I'm kind of happy we didn't get LaShawn McCoy. He's on the wrong side of 30 now. He still have a little left in his tank, but I would prefer to have Jordan Howard than LaShawn McCoy right now. I'm not saying Howard is better, but I'm just
Jordan
saying.
Howard underrated too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a touchy situation. The players union really failed the players this year, but mostly the running backs because of that deal. And the reason why Zeke is holding out the way he is because you look back a couple of years ago, he saw how, as well as the rest of the league, saw how the Cowboys ran DeMarco Murray through the ground every year, 300 plus carries to the ground. And then when it was time for him to get a contract, they shipped him out the door.
Yep.
So that's the reason why Zeke is holding out with 2 years. If Zeke would have did it next year, he wouldn't have as much leverage as he has this year. As crazy as it sounds, even though he had 1 year, he has 2 years. So he's really putting the pressure on Jerry and them. And Jerry knows this is his best chance of winning a Super Bowl before he dies.
He don't have an Aaron Rodgers. He don't have. I even said it right here. I tell people, I'm a fan, and I don't make my fan no secret. I say stuff with knowing who my teams are, but I call a spade. Carson Wentz is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. The only difference is that Carson Wentz seems to be he always seems to get nicked all the time.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. But quarterback for quarterback, Carson Wentz is a better quarterback.
He is. And I mean, Carson can make every throw.
Yep.
Carson can make every throw in the book, But at the same time, like you said, your best threat is being able to be available, and that's one thing Carson hasn't been able to do lately is stay healthy. You can't shy away from that. But we play a physical sport. Football is a physical sport. Some people get hurt. That's just the way it is. Nobody is exempt from injuries. It happens. But to say that, I do believe Carson is better, and I think he'll show out this year. But we're going to start it off, though. We got to start from the top. We're going to start at where the champions reside. That's the New England Patriots in the AFC East. Arguably the weakest.
The sorriest conference in sports history.
Yes, it is. It's like the East of basketball 3 years ago, when LeBron just used to walk right through it.
I think it's worse than that, but okay.
Well, we'll start from the top. And, New England. We already know they're going to win the division.
Hands down.
I mean, that's hands down. Do you see New England getting back to the Super Bowl? Like, where do you think this team can go?
Much as I hate Tom Brady, I still has to admire his greatness because if it's close, he's going to get it. I don't see them going back to the Super Bowl, but I do see them making a deep playoff run. I don't see them going back to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Some concerns that I have about New England is the receivers. You lose Gronk, which that's a big piece. Then you have Edelman, he's a little nicked up, but you get Josh Gordon back. I think that's major. If Josh Gordon can play a full season, with no distractions from the outside, no Johnny Manziel, nothing else, this offense could be dangerous again. Like back when Tom Brady had Randy Moss. Josh Gordon is a home run threat. He is a
Yep.
legit number one wide receiver in the NFL when he plays like it. So with him and Edelman, they released Demaryius Thomas, but
I was
the
about to say they
reports,
just did that.
the reports are that they're open to bringing him back. It was just something dealing with his contract. They would save more
Okay.
money if they
Okay.
released him. But he
Release.
did have a really good preseason. In the final game, he caught 2 touchdowns.
But that Bill Belichick is a genius, bro. God, dog, I hate that guy as a cap genius, a
Yeah.
play genius.
Yeah.
If he about to cut you, then we sign you right back, but only gonna guarantee probably what you make this year.
Yep. I mean, that's the great ones. That's what they do. Some key standouts on their 53-man roster is they kept the backup, the quarterback Jarrett Stidham. He's the only quarterback that they got behind Tom Brady. Is he the next Jimmy Garoppolo?
He is. Did you watch the fourth? He played that guy the whole game and left three skilled starter out position plays in there to get a feel. He played him the whole game. He's not doing that just to do it. He played the whole entire game.
Yeah.
He's the guy. And I think this time, even though Robert Kraft is Tom Brady's daddy, I think this time Robert Kraft gonna let Bill Belichick do what you do.
Yeah. I mean, but when will we see Brady decline? Like,
Brady has declined. Look at the numbers. He has declined. Look at the play and the numbers. Just that his team, because his play has declined.
But it hasn't declined like we seen
Peyton
Manning. Everybody knew Peyton was gone.
Manning jumped off the cliff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Tom can't be declining. He's still winning Super Bowls. He may not be throwing 65 touchdowns like he used to, but the man is still winning Super Bowls. Granted, this was the ugliest Super Bowl this past year. But the year before that, when he played my Eagles, he threw for damn near 500 yards. He set a record for the most passing yards by a losing quarterback in a Super Bowl.
Yeah. How many yards did Fitzpatrick throw for in the beginning of the Buccaneers season?
I don't know. I know he threw for a lot. Yeah.
A lot. That's what I'm saying. And I see people like, oh, he's Super Bowl winning quarterback. So if we just going on Super Bowl winning quarterback. So Trent Dilfer is that guy?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is Trent Dilfer is a manager, a quarterback manager. He wasn't gonna win you a game.
What was Tom Brady this year? That's not talking Tom Brady overall. Let me make sure I'm clear. Not Tom Brady overall. Tom Brady this year.
What you mean? What he was? Did you not see what he did against the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs?
Did you not see they lost the game, but the interception got called back because of Danforth was offside?
Hey, I mean, listen, that's a part of the game. Keep your ass on the right side of the field, and you won't have that issue.
I hear you, but Tom Brady. We gotta look at Tom. We're not comparing Tom Brady to Trubisky. Tom Brady, for his standard, he's fell off this year. Look at the Tennessee game. Probably his worst game in the past, I don't know, 7 years probably.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, you got Mike Vrabel, a former colleague who is now the head coach. Tennessee, certain teams play certain teams well. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. Tennessee, they got a decent defense. You know what I mean? They ain't no slouches, but at the same time, I mean, listen, when it matters the most, everybody know this. I'm an Eagle fan through and through. When it matters the most, if I had to choose, I got to go with number 12.
Yeah.
I mean, so until Tom Brady, to me, a decline is, this is just me. In my eyes, a decline is he's not capable of doing what he used to do. He's still doing that, though. He's still winning Super Bowls. Marvin, how is he not?
He can't even throw the deep ball. You watch football like I watch football. You watch the Patriots for a game. Tom Brady doesn't even throw the deep ball no more. Not because he don't want to. He can.
No, I can't agree with that. He still can throw.
He's a an aficionado. He
Look,
thinks it's dunks.
I can't agree with that, Marvin. Tom
He
Brady
thinks
is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He threw for last year. He threw for over 4,000 yards. He only had
he's
29 touchdowns, but
he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but he's still declining.
I mean, me and you, we probably see declining in two different fashions. Me, I think if Tom Brady doesn't make it to the playoffs, then yes, they're declining. He's starting to decline. But if Tom Brady is still making it to the playoffs, still winning his division, still hosting AFC championship games in New England, meaning they have home field advantage. They are the best team in that conference, and he's still making it to a Super Bowl. I can't
No,
say
but
that this
last year
man is
wasn't last year
declining.
it was in Kansas City. It wasn't. It
I
wasn't in
understand. I understand that, but I'm just saying that's what I feel
uh,
like a decline for Tom Brady is. He
okay,
is
but see,
arguably the greatest quarterback of NFL history. So if he's no
he is.
longer making the playoffs or no longer winning Super Bowls, then that is a decline.
Okay,
Anything
but by
else,
your
I can't call that a decline.
okay, so by your same argument, that means Peyton Manning didn't decline that last year. By your same argument, if that's your justifications, Peyton Manning did what? They went to the playoffs. They did what? They won the AFC Championship. They did what? Win the Super Bowl.
Okay, and I
And
and
that
I
probably was
counter
his
that.
worst year ever.
Okay, and I counter that. Did Peyton take them to the playoffs?
Did Tom
Or
Brady take them to the playoffs?
yes, yes. It wasn't. It wasn't no Brock.
That
Listen,
defense was saying like in that kicker.
listen.
This is, Tom Brady won. Tom Brady. Think about it. They should have gave Gilmore. Gilmore was supposed to get MVP of that game.
Oh, you talking about the Super Bowl? I mean, it was an ugly
Yeah.
Super Bowl, but I mean that don't got
If
anything to do with whether or not he
that
took them
guy,
there.
if you
At,
that guy, he put to take that. It
okay,
shouldn't even
but
be close.
at the end of the day, he took them there. When Peyton got to the Super Bowl this last time, that was a Von Miller driven defense. They had the best defense in the NFL.
Mm.
If my memory serves me right, Peyton Manning got benched during the season, did he not, for Brock Osweiler?
No, he got benched not for play. He got benched because that back was still messing with him. They had to take him out. Like he literally
Yeah.
couldn't even play. Get his arm up. So he didn't get benched like on some like your play is so terrible. We're benching you for Brock Osweiler because
I
that
ain't
that would
seen
be
Tom
asinine
Brady
of him.
getting benched for nothing.
Because Tom Brady hasn't been injured like Brady, but
I'm
he still
just
took
saying.
his team to the Super Bowl and
Hey,
they won.
but this is what I'm saying though. Everybody's seen Peyton Manning decline. You saw he couldn't make the same throws.
Uh huh.
Brady can still make the same throws.
No, he can't. He can't make all
Yes,
the.
he
Brady
can.
cannot make a deep throw.
You selling them short, Marvin. You
Look,
selling them real
let me
short.
tell you, this not even my. I didn't even notice it until I was listening to. I got good credit. I listened to Skip and Shannon, and they was going over his stats. Let me look back, and Skip is a god doggone Tom Brady. Jesus, he
Yeah, I
worships
know.
Tom Brady,
I know.
and he even says Tom doesn't make the deep throw no more. Yes, but he's still the greatest of all time. And that's his opinion. Cause
I mean, everybody has an opinion. Doesn't mean
But
it's true.
the numbers back it up. The numbers say it's fact. Pro Football Focus numbers say it's fact. And I got a Pro Football Focus probably got the best. Some of them statistics be kind of skewed, whatever. But
Yeah,
they're pretty,
exactly.
they're
I
pretty
mean,
good.
look, the man was 7th in the league last year in passing, 10th in touchdowns. You know, I just don't see it like that. But we agree to disagree. That's the
Oh,
beauty of this sport. So
we'll do that.
this year coming up, do you believe Tom Brady will throw more than 4,000 yards again or less?
I think he'll
Like,
throw less.
so okay, less. All right, I'm gonna put it
I, I,
down.
I think they're gonna ride. I think they're gonna really ride Sony Michelle this year. I think they really like him. I think they're gonna try to go back to like the Corey Dillon days. I think they really like Sony. We know you do that. You do the multi-back thing anyway. I
Yeah,
think they're
they're
gonna
running back by committee. That's why in fantasy I never draft a
ride
uh
New England. running back, me neither.
Yeah, because you never know who the hell you're gonna get. All right, so we both agree that New England is gonna win this division. Who you think
Yeah.
the second best team in the division is though?
Oh, I think the first. I think and that some of the AFC East.
Yeah. We went division by division. So we got New
Yeah.
England number one. Who's the number two
I
team?
I give it the I give the Jets.
Yeah, I think the Jets too. Um, they're doing a lot of good things now. They're starting to build around Sam Darnold. I think
Yep.
Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. He showed strides at the end of the year last year, and then them bringing in a bell cow and Le'Veon Bell is a
Uh,
really good thing. For them, it should really take the pressure off of Sam Darnold. Then you look on the outside. They got Robbie Anderson. Robbie Anderson is one of the He's a fast wide receiver. I don't know his 40 off the top of my head. I always make a joke that when he's running, he look like a crackhead running because he's so skinny. But you got him. You got Quincy Anua. Then you get Jamison Crowder, a PPR machine. In the slot. Him and Sam Darnold, they have hooked up in the preseason, so they're showing a lot of chemistry. And then you look on the defensive side, what they done. They bring in C.J. Mosley from
yeah.
Baltimore, to solidify the middle. You already got Jamal Adams, who is one
He
of the
hurt.
young.
He hurt. He just got back. He hurt.
Who's hurt?
TJ Mosley.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's gonna. It ain't a season-ending injury, right?
I thought it was.
Hmm.
Let me look it up now. I thought it was pretty severe. Maybe not.
Okay, so you got. They also almost had Anthony Barr, but the last second in free agency, he backed out and decided to go back to the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
But then you also have Jamal Adams, like I said, who is a stud safety. They got a nice young stud safety tandem with Marcus May as well. Did you find it? So I like what the Jets was doing offensively. They're gonna be able to run the ball, keep Sam Darnold in short down and distances. I mean, he can spread the ball around. He does have a live arm. Um, and defensively, they got a good defensive line. They also drafted that one kid from Alabama to play up at the line. The only thing with kids from Alabama is Nick Saban run them through the ground. That's my only knock. That's the reason why I try to stay away. Well, I'm glad my team stays away from Alabama players, because once they get in the league, they done been ran through. It's a machine down there, and you constantly now starting to hear more and more guys talk about how Nick Saban been wanting them to come back. He don't want them to leave early, because he wants them to play 4 years at Alabama so he can win. It ain't about the kids. It's only about him. So that's really telling. That's one reason why, not to jump back into Clemson or even in college football, but that's the reason why you're starting to see these guys go to other schools. The number one wide receiver from last year's class was from Alabama. He went to Clemson. The kid Ross.
Yeah.
Like,
they didn't even give him a scholarship offer.
Yeah. So, so it's very surprising. That he is no longer getting the top recruits like he normally would. I mean, they still having number 2, number 1,
I
draft
think
class.
they always gonna get the best interior lineman. They always gonna get the best offensive lineman, and they always gonna get the best running back, which is the Alabama statistic. Now, this last 10 years, Alabama had this run, but they just started getting good quarterbacks. They never really got the best quarterback.
Nah,
They
they
just started
never.
getting great skill position guys like wide receivers and stuff. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, man, I don't see anything about C.J. Mosley being hurt or anything.
Okay, I think he's bad because I read one thing. I know he had a upper thigh bruise, but they say he's good though.
Yeah. So I mean, they got 3 levels. At 3 levels of their defense, they got stars. They got Williams, the kid Leonard Williams from Southern Cal, who been in the league about 4 or 5 years now. Then they drafted
Yeah.
the other kid from from Alabama. They really don't
I
have
think it's gonna
edge
be different
rushers
for the
though.
year.
Um, and then C.J. Mosley in the middle, and then
Yeah,
you got
Jamal.
Jamal Adams, and
Yep,
then they
yep.
got my other boy from the University of Florida. So playing right beside Jamal Adams. So they got a nice defense. I think the Jets will be an improved team. Can
Oh
they
yeah.
make the playoffs? I'm not saying they
Uh,
can't.
I
It'll
don't
be
know. I think
tough,
the AFC it's like the AFC will be tough. I'm not even gonna lie.
but is it
They
tougher than the
can.
NFC though? And I say no to that.
No,
You got teams
no.
like you got to think the Colts was a playoff team last year. They would not be a playoff team this year. I'm
Nope.
sorry.
You know what, man? I don't know, man. I think Jacoby Brissett going to shot some people down.
Yeah, I done seen this before. It ain't the first time Jacoby Brissett had to step in for Andrew Luck.
He did pretty good. Only thing I don't like is gonna hurt him because he had a whole summer, so he been the backup. But I think now he gonna learn the offense. I mean, he
Yeah,
got
I mean, but he been in.
now.
I mean, it ain't like he ain't been in this offense before. I mean, he's been with this team for years now. So I mean,
This year, a full year last year, a year and a half. Remember, he got traded now in the middle of the season.
yeah, but he back. I mean, it ain't gonna take him that long. Shit, we signed Josh McCown, and then the next day he was playing in a preseason game, throwing 2 touchdowns.
That's McCown though. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
remember. That's a 13-year veteran.
hey, but I'm saying though, this ain't Jacoby Brissett isn't a rookie or nothing. This ain't his second year in the
This is
league.
third year in the league. This is third year in the league.
Nah, Jacoby been in a little bit long because he came out of the University of Florida, then he transferred to NC State, and then he ended up
Okay,
getting
transfer
drafted by the
NC
New England.
got drafted by the Patriots.
Yeah,
Played 4 games. Then my man got mad, traded him. He still should be. He's still on the rookie contract. So that's 4 years. He's still on his rookie contract.
yeah. So he should have enough time
This
to
year.
get a hold of it. All right, so we got the Jets number 2. I think they can finish 8-8, 9-7 if they really if shit fall their way. They could be a 10-16. I really
Okay.
like their defense. Like I really think they have a really really good defense. Hence why I drafted them in one of my fantasy leagues for one of my defenses. Outside of that, you got Le'Veon Bell. You know what Le'Veon gonna do for you. He's gonna take a lot of pressure off of Sam Darnold and help
Yeah.
that passing game. And as long as they can shore up the offensive line, I know in years past they have had offensive line issues. But as long as they can shore up that offensive line now, I think the
Mhm.
Jets should be very, very. They Jets should at least be more competitive towards New England. Now, outside of the Jets, it's a toss up. I'll say this: the Bills is the third best team in that division, but that don't mean nothing. And
And
the
I don't
Dolphins
even.
is the worst team in the NFL.
I'm not even about to break them down. It's a toss up. 3-4, 4-3. But
Yeah,
then,
yeah. Um, so moving on. Now we can move over to the NFC East, which this is a two-headed dog race. It's between the Eagles and the Cowboys. Let's just be frank about it.
so,
Me playing Devil's Advocate. I mean the Cowboys on paper and just what they bringing back, they look damn good. I can't doubt it. You know what I mean? The Cowboys really, really look good. Some areas of concern is that defensive line. It was really good last year, but they got a lot of guys that's either suspended, like typical Cowboy fashion, or they're injured. They're coming back off of surgeries. You got DeMarcus Lawrence. You got Robert Quinn, who broke his hand. And then on top of that, he suspended the first 2 games for PED.
yep.
Then, so you got those issues. But at the same time, you look at what they got behind them, those 2 linebackers. Well, 3 if you want to add Sean Lee, but Sean Lee stays hurt so damn
I
much.
don't count. Do it.
Yeah,
Wolf Hunter got that spot.
yeah. So you got those guys. And then the secondary, Byron Jones, he has turned out to be um,
Stood.
a stud corner / safety, whatever they decide to play him at. But and then on the offensive side, we all know what they run on is Zeke. As long as they get
Yeah.
Zeke back, then they're gonna be okay. But for Cowboy fans to think Tony Pollard can replace Zeke, they're delusional.
Delusional.
You know, the man, like in his 4 years at Memphis, he didn't rush for more than six. I think they said no more than 16 carries in a game.
He was the second back at Memphis.
Yeah, exactly. So
He'll be a good second back behind Zeke, but he's not meant to be the guy.
yeah, so he's not gonna rush. He's not gonna give you 20 to 30 carries a game. That's not happening.
No,
You know,
no.
he a third down back, a scat back. You know, it'll be a tandem between him and Alfred Morrison, which, you know, I mean, behind that Dallas offensive line, which they do get Fredericks back. You know, he missed all the last year with his injury. So I'm glad to see him back. You never want to see someone not able to play because of a issue, but they get him back. And then on the outside, you got Amari Cooper. Randall Cobb, that was a good pickup for them. How you feel being a Green Bay Packer fan? Do you think Randall Cobb still has it, or can he add anything to that offense?
He can add something to the offense, especially in the slot. My thing about Randall Cobb, it's almost like the same thing as Carson Wentz. It's a little different. It's availability, and Randall Cobb, his availability has been like drastically down. And he's like the past 2 years. So I'm not. He'll get him something different. I think he's better than what's my man, the Rockford? He's better than Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley. Yeah.
If you compare those two, he's better than Cole Beasley's. But I think it was time for us to move on from him.
Yeah. So how do you see it from a person on the outside looking in? How do you see this division? How do you rank it 1, 2, 3, and 4?
I think it's a Cowboys between y'all two, but I think just to keep it real, I'm gonna give the Eagles number 1, Cowboys 2. Then I think the Redskins, I think the Giants and the Redskins, that's a flop up because I think Kirk Cousins probably gonna start the first 3-4 games, and they're gonna finally put Haskins in.
Case Keenum, Kurt is in Minnesota.
They're gonna let Casey Keenum start it, then finally put Haskins in, and I think Eli's gonna finish up the year, probably win 5 games, probably.
Yeah.
So I give Eagles, Cowboys, Redskins, Giants.
Yeah. The latest on the Zeke is it's the structure of the contract, not the dollars that is currently holding up the Ezekiel Elliott deal. So I guess they are good with the money. It's just basically how many years, I will assume. That's what they mean?
No, I think it's probably upfront money.
Okay, yeah, or guarantee. Yeah.
Yep.
I see Zeke playing week 1 now. You know, with them making as much headway as they have, I see them playing week 1 now.
Yeah, because the NFL Network had it getting done this weekend. Yeah. So I guess now, because we kick it off Thursday night, so I'm guessing now, I think he'll be playing week 1.
Yeah. The Eagles, for us, you know, it's all about one man, Carson Wentz. I GM Howie Roseman, one of the best GMs in the league. I'm not just saying that because I'm an Eagles fan. I'm just saying proof is in the pudding. Since Chip Kelly has been removed from the premises, Howie has came back on a man on fire with his moves. One of the things that Howie does the best at is he identifies our young good stars and he locks them up before the market. Everybody on our offense is signed. Zach Ertz has 3 years left on his deal. Alshon, you know what I mean? We only have one guy that's playing into their contract, and that's Nelson Aguilar. And we replacing, literally we know, but we already have replaced them with one of our draft picks this year, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside from Stanford, wide receiver.
Yeah. He's another Alshon.
Exactly.
He is Alshon Jeffrey on the other side. Big body. A little faster than Alshon. Looks a little faster. I don't know.
And he's from South Carolina as well.
Yeah.
And he grew up idolizing Alshon Jeffrey. So it was a dream come true, him playing with Alshon.
Yeah.
So you got him. We got Jordan Howard. We got Miles Sanders, who is a shady 2.0 one cut guy. He played behind Saquon. And out of all the running backs that came out this year's draft, he's the only one with the least wear and tear. He only had about 200 carries in his college career. Meanwhile, all these other guys over 600, 400, 500 carries. So he's fresh because he didn't play with Saquon. Saquon was the lead back in Penn State, so he sat behind and watched Saquon play. So you got everything. You got a good offensive line. Our issues as an Eagle fan, any Eagle fan can tell you, is the secondary and linebackers. We weak on the linebacker position. We did end up getting Zach Brown, which that was a big key. We picked him up from Washington. Pro Football Focus rated him the number 1 rated coverage linebacker last year, and he's a tackling machine. Ever since he done came from Buffalo, he's done had at least 100 plus tackles each year. But the secondary, we only have Malcolm Jenkins. We need to find somebody behind Malcolm Jenkins.
I'm starting to think Malcolm Jenkins is a little overrated, man. I'm really starting to think that.
You think he's overrated? The guy can play every position. It's times when Malcolm is playing the slot. He's playing the outside. And, of course, he's a safety. Or we'll drop him in the box. He played every defensive snap for the Philadelphia Eagles last year. As many injuries we had in our secondary, he was the only one. He was the rock who was there every single week.
Well, when I say overrated, I mean one time Malcolm Jenkins was in the conversation for one of the best corners in the league. I think now he's just a good corner. Better than average. He's just a really good corner. But one time he was in that conversation for best corner in the league.
Yeah, but he's a safety now. New Orleans drafted him for a corner, but then he eventually moved to safety. So I think he still is one of the top safeties in the league. He did make the Pro Bowl last year. I think he is the best. I remember when the Eagles signed him, I was upset. Like I'm pretty sure a lot of Eagle fans was, because we could have got Kevin Bird from Buffalo, and he ended up signing a major contract with the Saints.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at ESPN right now. Brian Hoyer signs a 3-year deal with the Colts for $12 million. You got to be effing kidding me.
Yeah. So, you see how much faith the Colts have in Jacoby. Wow. You go out there and you give Brian Hoyer a a 3-year deal for $12 million. Crazy.
Okay, that's breaking news. Wow.
But back to the Eagles. As long as Wentz is healthy, then we should make the playoffs. We should win the division, and I hope that we should be winning a Super Bowl. That's how good this team is. We got so much depth at all these positions. My only areas of concern is our linebacker. We only got 2 that are solid, and that's Zach Brown and Nigel Bradham. And then in the secondary, we still young. I do not want to see Jalen Mills as a starting cornerback for my team anymore. This guy bites on double moves every single time. Every single time this guy bites on a double move, he is constantly getting burnt. So, I want my young guys. They got a lot of playing time last year with all the injuries that we had. So Rasul Douglas, Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones most definitely got to step up. He was a high draft pick. This is the year now. He gotta step up. He gotta prove it. I'm tired of seeing you on Instagram eating Chipotle every Tuesday, but then a week later you got a hamstring injury. All right, lay off the Chipotle.
Get you behind in the gym.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But it is a 2-dog race. The Eagles and the Cowboys. Next, I think the Redskins are better than the Giants. When you look at the Redskins on the defensive side, they're better defense. You still got Josh Norman. You got Ryan Kerrigan, who is really overlooked as one of the best edge rushers in the NFL. He has yet to miss a game, so that's something that's astounding. Then they get Montez Sweat from Mississippi State in the draft. Dwayne Haskins. So the real question for Washington is, when does Dwayne Haskins start?
I give it 4 games. I give him 4 games. I give him two. I think I give him 4 games max. But I got a question about you. How do you feel about your quarterback mental health? I didn't realize that the Nick Foles thing bothered him so bad. He had to go to therapy.
I mean, well, you would think anybody, if you were brought in as the high guy and, you know, then you get hurt, you can't lead from the sideline. Guys don't respect that. If you ain't out there with them, fighting and playing, they can't respect what you're saying. And then on top of that, you got to try to get yourself together. So you basically isolating yourself from the team while you trying to rehab.
Then the guy
While
wins the Super Bowl and MVP. That doesn't help.
exactly. So you add all that on, and then on top of that, being in Philly, it was the very first Super Bowl. It means a whole lot more. If this was like we was the Steelers or somebody, and it was our
Yeah.
fourth or fifth, then it probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But you're talking about a city that hasn't won a Super Bowl, and unless you are Eagle fan or you from Philly or you know what I'm saying, you don't understand how big that was.
Hmm.
It meant everything to that city. You know what I mean? I have plenty of friends from Philly, and they was there at the parade, and you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean. They was crying when the Eagles won. Like it meant so much because being an Eagle fan, you always been told by Giants and Cowboys and Redskin fan,
You ain't
oh
got no
y'all
ring.
never
Yeah.
win a Super Bowl. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for it to happen for Philly, it meant so much, and I mean, it was just a redemption. You had the whole Nick Foles angle. Nick Foles was Andy Reid's last draft pick, and then
Yeah.
Chip Kelly came in and took Nick
And I
Foles
hate.
off.
I just hate Chip Kelly. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I hate Chip Kelly.
I do too. I do
Shit.
too. UCLA, they lost their first game this year in college. So
Fanatic.
he is really really on a hot seat. I wouldn't be surprised if Chip Kelly doesn't finish it off. It's funny how things change. He went to the NFL, everybody discovered and shut his ass down, and then since then he ain't been shit. So it
Nope.
serves him right. But I mean, to answer your question about Nick Carson Wentz, I think he's in a better place. He came out, he admitted that he wasn't the best teammate. I mean, that report came out and said those things. And it wasn't that he was a bad teammate, but it's just the fact that him injuring, like just like Andrew Luck, every season it's a cycle. You're
Yeah.
playing, then you get hurt, then it's rehab, then you're trying to get ramped back up. So it takes a toll on you. You know what I mean? That's the reason Andrew Luck, he just got tired of it. It's a cycle. And if you can't get out of it, then it really weighs down on you. And then on top of that, you see your team don't need you, and they still thriving and winning. I don't care how much of anybody they can say they're a team player. Everybody want to be that guy. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? You want to be the reason why your team win. I mean that's just the human nature of things. We
Hmm.
selfish human beings. At the end of the day, it's just how it is.
Hmm.
Um, but I think he's in a better place now. The GM Howie Roseman, they done did everything in their power to ease his comfort level. Gave him a new
Yeah.
contract, so
Oh yeah.
he's financially stable. We gave him weapons. He got Jordan Howard. He got a running game that he can lean on this year, unlike last year because we let LeGarrette Blunt go. Then you got weapons. We finally got another deep threat in Deshaun
Hmm.
Jackson. You know what I mean? We got multiple weapons on the outside. So, we shored up the offensive line. We drafted a left tackle. The reason why Houston is upset right now, we drafted Andre Dillard. We skipped them. We jumped up ahead of them to draft him, and he's going to be the next left tackle for us. So, there's nothing that Carson Wentz should want for. The only thing he need
Yeah.
to go out and do is play, and I think he will do that.
That's
Um,
it.
yeah. So back to Washington.
Uh
I
huh.
see Washington as a good team. They're
Mm.
gonna surprise some people, but they're gonna take a lot of lumps early on in the season, especially with Case Keenum. We know what Case Keenum is. He's Fitzpatrick. He might win you
Yep.
1 or 2 games, but nothing more. That one season he had with Minnesota was the flukiest season
Fluke.
in NFL history. So you got that out of the way. Dwayne Haskins, with what you done seen in preseason of Dwayne Haskins, do you think he's the answer though?
I think he is. I really think he is. I don't understand this draft. I think in any other year, besides let me be more specific. Besides a Cam Newton coming out, those guys are, once in a lifetime quarterbacks.
Unicorns. Yeah.
But any other year, Dwayne Haskins would be number one pick. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. I think he's really that good of a quarterback. I think Ohio State ran a pro-like offense to where, he can come in. He know how to read a defense. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You don't have to know how to read the defense. And I think he's gonna be that guy. I saw him make some plays where like, okay, you can tell he's a young guy. He's a rookie, but I think I throw him in the fire.
Yeah.
Throw him in the fire.
The only thing is the Redskins, if I'm not mistaken, they first 4 games they all play playoff teams.
Yeah. And he's sitting behind Casey Keenum. If Alex Smith was there, I'd say sit him for a season.
Yeah.
Now, if Alex Smith was there, they might even have drafted Haskins, to be honest with you. But if you
because they gave Alex Smith that big ass contract, so they wouldn't have. But the thing on the Redskins though that really hurts them is their draft classes. They really haven't hit on drafts lately. They just released Josh Dotson over the weekend. And he was a part of the 2016 draft class. He was their number 1 pick in the first round, and he never could get on it. And looking at it, they only have 2 players from the 2015 and 2016 player combined. So 1 player from each draft class that's still left on that team. You're not gonna win if you don't develop guys and your draft picks don't hit. So you mean to tell me these are all the names that have them walked out? They still got Brandon Sheriff. But that's it. From the 2015, Preston Smith, he went to y'all, if I'm not correct, right? Y'all signed Preston Smith. Then you got Matt Jones, Jameis Crowder is with the Jets now. Martair Spire, Tevin Mitchell, Evan Spencer, Austin Riddler. That's from the 2015 class, all gone. The 2016 class, Josh Dotson, just released. Sue Cravens, no longer there. Kendall Fuller, no longer there. Nate Sudfeld, he's the backup for the Eagles, no longer there. Keith Marshall, Steven Daniels. You know what I mean? So when you don't hit in the draft, that's where teams, it doesn't work out. That's when you have to look for free agency and then trades and other things.
Guy want to leave. I think, to me, this is me being a big guy too. I think, who you think the best player on the Redskins position per position, the best player on the Redskins team?
Trent Williams, they left tackle, who isn't there.
That's what I think it is too. And he don't want to be there no more.
Yeah, because of the medical staff said he had a tumor. He found out he had a tumor on his head. Luckily, I think it was non-cancerous or whatever.
Yeah.
But they said it wasn't nothing wrong with him. So, and that's another reason why I don't think they want to put Dwayne Haskins out there early neither, is because his blind side is not going to be protected the way it could be.
Yep.
So let Case Keenum take them hits for the left tackle to settle in and get a little better. Because, like on offense, the first 4 games, it's going to be sloppy. We saw it last year. And it takes the offensive line a little longer than defensive line to get acclimated back to game speed and so forth.
Yep.
So I think that's another reason why you won't see Dwayne Haskins start for quite a bit. And then because it's easier to turn to the rookie after the veteran done been, we done saw him for 8 games, then vice versa. You throw the rookie out there and he looks like shit, and then it's kind of, it really weighs on his demeanor. Some guys can do it, some guys can't. It just depends on the situation. But I think the Redskins, they can go anywhere from between like 5-11, 6-10, somewhere around that range.
Yeah.
Then we got the Giants. All you have with the Giants is Saquon. I can't name a person on their defense.
I can't either.
Like, I think Janoris Jenkins still plays for him. I think. But outside of that, but outside of that, the Giants ain't got nothing. It's really Saquon. They got Golden Tate, but I don't think Golden Tate is that guy anymore. Now, I'm not saying that because he played for the Eagles last year. I don't think the Eagles used him the correct way. Golden Tate is a slot receiver. We already had a slot receiver in Nelson Aguilar, and it just didn't work out. But I just don't think he's that guy anymore.
Golden Tate's a hater, too.
Yeah.
Haters don't prosper. Golden Tate's a hater.
And so outside of that, you got Sterling Shepard. He ain't nothing. No, on any other team, he's a 4, a 3. He's not a 1 or a 2. And then you got Evan Ingram, the tight end. He's decent, but can he be one of the top tight ends in the league? Maybe he has the potential, but has he done it? No. So, and it's a bunch of unknowns. Only thing we know is Saquon is arguably one of the best running backs in the NFL. That's it. Now, I think Daniel Jones will start a lot sooner than Dwayne Haskins because I think New York, especially that media, they're ready to get Eli out of there. And then, especially with the preseason, the way Daniel Jones performed, I think it was it was against scrubs, but I mean,
no, I'm talking about it's not happening as far as Eli gonna play the whole year.
Eli's playing the whole year?
That's playing the whole year.
Wow. Even with a losing record, they not
even with a losing record. Because remember now, this the same team that fired a coach fired a coach and the GM for benching Eli, but was the right decision. Eli went on TV and cried.
Yeah.
A grown man on TV crying because he got benched because his playing sucks. Got the GM and coach fired, and they put him back in there. So now, if this is, I think this project is going to be Eli farewell tour. So you want to bench him on his farewell tour?
Man, listen, I ain't here for emotions and all that. I'm here trying to win games, and Eli ain't the answer no more. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but I think I think they got to put Daniel Jones in there. I mean, you sit him for a year for what? This is my thing with sitting a guy for a whole year. You sit him for a year for what? Coming into the next year, you don't know what you got still. You still asking the same questions.
Unless he's behind a baller. Like, I think, and Patrick Mahomes said the best thing for him was to sit behind Alex Smith for a year. Alex Smith was balling. That made sense.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. It makes sense. But, I don't see it. I think by week 10 at the latest, Eli is out of there. Especially if they have a late bye, he's out of there, without a doubt. So we got that. It's a toss-up. Of course, I'm going to say the Eagles going to win this division, but a lot of people would say it's a toss-up between the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Third and fourth, I say Redskins, Giants, it's pretty much it. But we're going to move on to the AFC North now.
Okay.
I got money on Cleveland winning this division because I got a lot of Steelers fans that are I got a lot of friends that are Steelers fans, so just to piss them off, I put money on Cleveland. How do you see this division shaking out, 1 through 4?
I got Ravens.
Ravens taking the number 1 spot?
I got the Ravens taking the number 1 spot. I got Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this. How many teams makes the playoffs out that division?
I know I can't break it down. I'm gonna say 2.
2?
I don't even think the Browns gonna make the playoff.
Wow. Wow.
I think they're gonna be fun, but I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs.
It's teams that every now and then it's a division that can get 3 teams in the playoffs. I was looking at it. What you saying, the Ravens? This could possibly be a 3-team division. I mean, a 3-team playoff team division. I don't know. I mean, I like what I see about the Browns. On paper, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. The thing is, Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield can play. I think he's a stud. But can he play with the pressure? It's one thing when there's no expectations. You're the Cleveland Browns. You win 2 games. Hell, you win a game, and it's a plus. You know what I mean? You don't want a Super Bowl in Cleveland. But now when you get OBJ, you get all these high draft picks and, superstars on the defensive side as well. You bring in Olivier Vernon from the Giants. You know what I mean? You bring in these type of playmakers on your team. You got Kareem Hunt, who's going to have to sit out, the first half of the season. It's a lot of expectations on that team now, on Baker Mayfield, because he's the general. I think he can do it, but will he be able to?
I think Jay Bentley, not Jay Bentley, Jay Bentley, my God, dog on mine. I think Baker Mayfield, I think once he remember that he talking with men, he'll come into his own. I think he got to remember he dealing with men and not boys no more. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's gonna. I think that attitude is gonna come. It's gonna come bite him during the season when you got Odell Beckham in your face, and you got Jarvis in your face, and you got Kareem Hunt coming back. That's my only issue. I think his athleticism, his play, not a problem. I think he just has to learn to deal with men and how to talk to men.
Mm-hmm. But to counter that though, I don't think we'll see those same outbursts from OBJ like we saw in New York for two reasons. One, Jarvis Landry, that's one of his childhood friends. They went to LSU together. There,
Yep.
if he respects anybody in the NFL, it's Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry can get to Odell to where he can calm down. He won't be that distraction off the field. But two, I think Odell feels like he said he came out and he felt hurt about the decision that the Giants traded him to Cleveland. They traded him to a place where they thought was a wasteland. You know, when you hear, I remember back in the day when you seen people like, let's say when Richard Seymour, right, used to play for the New England Patriots. He left New England, went to Oakland. You knew it was about the money. You knew he wasn't going to win there. You know, it's the black hole. You know, you go to certain places just for a check. You know, Emmett went to Arizona, you know, because Dallas no longer wanted him. You know what I mean? You know you ain't winning there. So that's how Odell felt with the Giants trading him to Cleveland, you know?
Hold on. What's wrong with you?
So yeah, that's just how I feel about that situation. I think Cleveland will win this division, not only because I got money on it, but I just feel as though they're the best team. They're well rounded. As long as Baker Mayfield can make the plays he needs to make, then everything else will fall in place. Second is a toss up. I like the Ravens. I like what they done. I like the draft picks of Hollywood, they defense. With Earl Thomas now in that backfield, that defense is scary. I know they lost C.J. Mosley, but teams like the Ravens and the Steelers, they find linebackers. You know what I mean? It's just they just know what a good linebacker looks like. You know what I mean? They just know. So I feel as though we scrimmage with them, and their defense is legit. Legit. They got some corners that can really play. Jimmy Smith and the other guy, his name is skipping my mind, but with Earl Thomas now over there, that defense is gonna be legit this year. So I like the Baltimore Ravens for sure. Mark Ingram, get Mark Ingram is big for them. I like Mark Ingram. He's an upgrade. I know they're gonna do a little bit of running back by committee. It's just really for them, like most teams, it's the quarterback. We don't know about Lamar. Lamar can run, but we know that ain't gonna get you where you want to ultimately be. You know what I mean? You got to be able to throw the ball. Can Lamar make that next step?
I think Lamar came in the next step. I don't like they're not putting no respect on that man's name. They acting like he playing like Trent Dilfer or something. The man can only do what the coaches allow him to do. And that's my thing. And when he finally got the chance to throw the ball, he was throwing it. They had like the man. They had like he
Tim Tebow.
Yeah. who is probably like I tell people, I talk trash about Tim Tebow as far as the NFL, but nobody can deny that Tim Tebow is hands down, if not the best, one of the best college football players ever.
Yeah.
And I got to give him that. And you know, I can't stand the Florida Gators, but I got to give him that.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the question though. Will Lamar take the next step, and will the coaching staff allow him to take the next step? You know what I mean? You can't. There's no way in hell Lamar is going to be able to put up year in, year out the type of punishment that he dealt with last year, running the ball as many times as he did last year. You know what I mean? It's just not, you know, we saw Vic. We seen Cam. You know, we done seen a lot of RG3. We done seen a lot of running quarterbacks.
And Cam, the biggest out of them all.
And he can't take it. So they most definitely, they got to change They got to change some things, but they have a chance. You know what I mean? I like their receiving core. Willie Snead, Seth Roberts, Miles Boykins, Hollywood, Marquise Brown. I think he is the key. If he can take the top off defenses like he did in college, that will open up so much. That will allow those passing lanes to be so much wider for Lamar Miller, where he don't have to be Aaron Rodgers esque. He ain't got to be Tom Brady esque. You know what I mean? He can make those easy throws to the tight end underneath, or Willie Snead, or whatever, and then just play off the run. They got Mark Ingram, who is a lead back. I like Mark Ingram a lot.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
that's why I drafted him in fantasy football too.
yeah, I think Mark Ingram, his loss will you will see his loss so much this year in New Orleans, and we'll talk about that when we break down a division. But I love the addition of Mark Ingram and Earl Thomas, and I see this team, they can make the playoffs. I'm not saying they can't. I think 3 teams will make the playoffs out of this division. I think that's how good this division will be this year. And then next we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. Big Ben and his 52 kids. Hey, listen, man. I ain't no Steelers fan, but hey, I'm like AB, man. You ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way.
Yeah,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
And that's a problem right there.
Big Ben saying he's no longer gonna do his weekly radio show. That don't mean nothing. You know how many people do that? Those guys, they don't ask. These radio hosts, they don't ask no tough questions.
Oh,
You
they
know
keep
what I
it,
mean?
and they know if they ask you tough questions, you're gonna get fired. It's like the guy called Tom Brady's daughter Brad. He was fired the next day.
Yep, exactly. So, you doing that doesn't mean nothing. At the end of the day, shit, you shouldn't have said what you said. You know what I mean? You act like you a saint. I'm like, I seen you throw six picks last year in the game. You know what I mean? So, Big Ben, you know what I mean? When you got the cachet, you can do those things. He the quarterback. He got Super Bowl wins underneath his belt, so that's still an organization. They allow him to do that. So I mean, that whole little ordeal between him and Antonio Brown, glad it's finally over. But the real question is Juju a number one? Because it's easy to put up those numbers when you got Mr. Big Chest on the other side.
That's right.
But can you do it now when you got to be the guy that's getting double teamed?
We're gonna find out.
Then, James Washington. Or I know they got it kind of like the depth chart is Dante Moncrief and then James Washington, but James Washington is arguably probably going to be their number 2 receivers. Can these guys put enough pressure where Juju can be that guy? So that's my issues with my concerns, I should say, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I know what we're gonna get out of James Conner. He has bounced back, and I think he's an NFL starting running back. Is he top 10? No, I don't think so. But for that system, he's gonna do good. He's gonna put up big numbers. On the defensive side, you still got one of the greatest cornerbacks to ever come out of the University of Florida, Joe Hayden, back there.
Yeah.
He just signed a 2-year deal for $22 million. Then, the Pittsburghs, the linebackers, Devin Bush, the rookie from Michigan. I think he's going to be a stud. Like I said about the Ravens, the Steelers as well. They know how to find good linebackers. They get Devin Bush. They moved up in the first round. They get him. You already got TJ Watt. They got defense. I think they was in the top 3 teams for sacks last year, so they know how to apply pressure. So that's how I feel about the Steelers. What do you think?
I think the Steelers. I think Big Ben. Hate him or love him. Sometimes I'm only Big Ben attitude, but Big Ben is a beast. Big Ben been a beast since Miami, Ohio. I've been watching Big Ben that long on Thursday Night Footballs on ESPN. I think Big Ben gonna do what Big Ben do. I don't know about Juju. I don't think Juju gonna realize when them double teams get to coming his way. We're gonna see what he made of. But I think Mike Tomlin. I think they're gonna have the mantra Everybody doubting us this year.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna wear that T-shirt, and I think they're gonna come up number 2 in division. I really think the Ravens number 1. I think the Steelers are gonna come up number 2 in division. I think James Conner he's a good running back. He's not great. I think he's a good runner. He's a good starting running back. Good starting NFL running back. He's not Le'Veon Bell, which was something else. Le'Veon Bell was just something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think Steelers gonna do what the Steelers do. I think they're gonna stay right there. I don't think they're gonna go 12-2 something like that. I think they're gonna win a few games. I think they're gonna make the playoffs. Then we're gonna see what they do. I don't think it's gonna be nothing. I think we have become accustomed to Steelers football. Now just missing AB.
Yeah.
But if it comes down to it, Mike Tomlin, they'll go back to winning games 14-7, 21-13. So
run game and defense.
Correct.
Now, as far as the last team, I think we both can agree on the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, when I look at them from the outside looking in, it's like, what are y'all doing? What direction are y'all going in? Are y'all rebuilding or are you not? You still got Andy Dalton. Like, what's going on with them?
Yeah, AJ Green. If they ain't gonna do nothing with him, please trade him.
Yeah, and once again, AJ Green is hurt again, so he's gonna miss at least the first month of the season. Yeah. Then outside of that, you got Tyler Boyd. You got Joe Mixon. You got some nice young players.
I like Joe.
But I mean, you're not competing. You're not one of the best teams in your division.
No.
You need to break it down.
No.
Andy Dalton, I thought they should have traded Andy Dalton to Miami. Or somebody, you know what I mean? And just, tank this year and then fresh start from there. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you had no, Tua got another year to go. Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well,
they got somebody decent.
Yeah. I think he got another year after
sophomore. Yeah, because he would Trevor Lawrence, so.
Yeah. So, I don't know what his organization, what direction they're headed in. And I don't think they know. And it's worse for the fans, because they know that they ain't doing shit. But, it's just growing pains, I would assume. Yep. So, they moved on from them. Now we'll move on to your division, the NFC North. Now, I'm going to let you take this away. How do you see this 1, 2, 3, 4?
Well, I don't think it's no surprise who I got one. I don't think it's no surprise who I got one. A-Rod, the GOAT. I got us coming in number 1. I actually got the Bears coming in number 2, Vikings 3, and of course the Detroit Lions 4. I think we're gonna come out number 1. Can you get what, big boy? No, it's too early for that. I think we come to 1. I think Aaron Rodgers is gonna be Aaron Rodgers. He got a lot to prove. I think Matt, what Mama call you? You got Matt LaFleur. I'm not crazy about him. But I think he's kind of coming into his
own. How do you feel about the fact that, I don't know if it's true or not, but it was reported that Aaron Rodgers can't make audibles at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, and the guy he retracted that statement. I think he got in contact with some of his mentors. And I think Kyle Shanahan said it best. I think because he got some of the Kyle. He said, you got to remember now, he said Matt LaFleur has never worked with a quarterback on Aaron Rodgers' level. Period. He said the closest thing, maybe Matt Ryan, when Matt Ryan had that season, he was like whatever he was there.
Yeah, and went to the Super Bowl, MVP.
Yeah, Super Bowl. He said, remember now, he said, I talked to him, he said he realized, you got to let those guys make that kind of decision. But he said, Matt LaFleur said, what the Kings was saying that he want to put Aaron Rodgers in the right position so he doesn't have to audible as much. But of course, he would not say, he had to put his moonwalker shoes on.
Yeah.
He said his thing was that he wanted to put him in the right position so where they wouldn't have to audible so much. Because you always going to give, it's certain quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees,
the elites quarterbacks.
That's not the quarterbacks that get the I Carson Wentz is audible on his own. I think just those guys, just those the only guys that's calling audibles on their own.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe Russell Wilson. Maybe I think Russell Wilson probably in that spot now.
yeah, I mean the elites. Let me just put it
Yeah.
at that. The elite quarterbacks. You know, we allow those are the ones that, you know, you allow them to do whatever they want to do. And luckily, he realized that before the season, because when you have a Aaron Rodgers, one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL, you you don't constrict him. You allow him to do whatever he want to do. I mean
Yeah.
that's
Right.
crazy that you would want to tell him no, you're gonna run this play like the way I told you to run it. No, that's crazy. You know that's what Sean McVay does to Jared Goff. You know Jared Goff, he listening to Sean McVay all the way up them 15 seconds. You know reading the
Yep.
defenses and Sean McVay telling him yo you're gonna go here. You know, that's not Aaron Rodgers. So I'm glad that y'all was able to figure that out.
Had to.
But all right, so you got Green Bay. My
Mm.
issues with your team is defense. You know,
I
as
think
well as will y'all rely on the run game? Like years past, shit, you done had a wide receiver back there running the ball. Will
Aaron
y'all?
Jones. Aaron Jones. Remember the name.
I mean, I know the guy. He done been around for a couple years now, but will you use him is the question.
I think this is going. I think it's going to be the most touches he's had in his career.
Okay, and then number two, who's opposite of Devontae Adams? You know, what I mean, because Jimmy Graham has just disappeared. Now, I don't know what the Jimmy Graham I knew and loved from New Orleans. He died in New Orleans because he wasn't out in Seattle. And
No,
shit,
Seattle killed them. But I think we bringing them back.
I done seen Jimmy Graham in your offense, and he ain't been back. He's still
Yeah.
dead. He's still
I think
missing.
right now, even though we have a number two, we don't have a number two.
Yeah,
It's on those guys to establish themselves. So right now we got a number two guy, but he's not a number two. Right now it's Devontae Adams and the Green Bay Packers wide receivers. That's how I'm calling it.
yeah, and losing Randall Cobb, who's gonna replace that? You know, for
Ah,
years Randall Cobb. I'm just saying, for years Randall Cobb has been that guy Aaron Rodgers know he has trust in. Outside Devontae Adams, he has trust in Randall
he's
Cobb.
good at Nelson, but what happened was nobody. The only person stepped up was Devontae Adams stepped up. Nobody wanted it. He went and took it. Think about it. Devontae Adams is our only true number one receiver since Greg Jennings.
Jordy Nelson, right?
I don't think Jordan Nelson. I think Jordan Nelson was a fantasy slot. Jordan Nelson was clutch. I don't think he was a number one. He was our number one, but he wasn't a. No matter what, I could throw him open. No matter what, you could throw Devontae Adams open.
Yeah, I mean, shit. The way that Aaron Rodgers and Jordy had that chemistry, though, man, them
Yeah,
back shorter throws was
you know what?
crazy.
Let me get that to Jordy. He was clutch.
Yeah, I think he's selling your man short.
He's just not as a number one receiver though. He like a slot guy. He like a Edelman. Where he is.
Yeah. All right, so you got that. But on the defensive side, your secondary, Kevin King, and those guys. What's going on? I know y'all brought Preston Smith in from the Redskins. You got another edge rusher. So you're trying to get more pressure on the quarterback. How do you feel about your defense? Will your defense be able to close games this year?
No. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Our defense is not going to close games, but our defense, I don't think they're going to blow games. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Bend but don't break.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie and say they're gonna, but I think they're gonna close games, but they're not gonna be losing the games for us.
Yeah.
I that.
So you see y'all as number one, and I really can't argue that because of Aaron Rodgers. I put a lot of value on the quarterback position. That's just me. If Chicago, which I think Chicago is a bigger threat than Minnesota to y'all, because I do not believe in Kirk Cousins. He's a choke artist. Yeah, I like Chicago too as well. My only thing with Chicago is they They have a great defense. We know what they can do on the defensive side of the ball with Khalil Mack and Eddie Jones and all those other guys that they bring at you. But it's on the offensive side. Mitch Trubisky. I'm not high on Mitch. You know what I mean? I never have. I didn't think he was all that in school. He can't make all the throws. You know what I mean? He missed open guys, you know. So can he make that next leap? Can he take that next step in his quarterback development? You know, they no longer have Jordan Howard, you know, but they got the rookie David Montgomery. They still got Tariq Cohen. But he has weapons around him. He has Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is a number one. He has Trey Burton. Trey Burton is a solid tight end. You know what I mean? You have weapons around you. Can you take it to the next level? I don't know. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't be surprising to me if the Chicago Bears don't even make it to the playoffs this year. As good as that defense is, Mitch Trubisky, he scares me. He scares me just as much as Kirk Cousins in the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Minnesota, you know, I think they missed their window when it's all said and done. I think their chance was the year they had Case Keenum. You know, anytime somebody thinks they're one player away, I done said this on plenty of episodes last season, you're not one player away. Minnesota thought they were just a quarterback away to get Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins isn't a closure. He doesn't have a clutch gene in his body.
Nope.
When it comes down to it, he will fold when you need him the most. Yep. And that's what he did last year. You know, you got Adam Thielen. You got Stephon Diggs. You know what I mean? You have a solid defense. Now this year, a bright spot, Dalvin Cook. He has looked good in preseason. That should help out. But will it be enough when it's all said and done? No. And the Detroit Lions are like the Cincinnati Bengals to me. I mean, what are you doing? You rebuilding or not? You know, they the fourth team in that division. There's no debating that. You still got Matthew Stafford, and that's it. You got Darius Slay on the other side, but he's getting up there in age. I don't know who your running backs are, because you don't know who your running backs are. Wide receivers, I mean, there ain't nothing to write home about. It's just Detroit's just a team just stuck in limbo to me. They like the Cincinnati Bengals. They don't know what direction they want to do. They traded last year, traded away Golden Tate. Then they brought in Snack. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, you bringing guys in, but you trading guys out. Like, what are you doing here? I don't understand it. Next, we're going to go out west, man. We're going to go to the AFC West. I got the Chargers winning this division this year. I had them last year, but I got them again this year. I got the Chargers, Chiefs, Oakland.
You got the Chargers over the Chiefs?
I do. I got the Chargers over the Chiefs. And I'll tell you why in a second. Yeah, okay. So I got the Chargers, Chiefs, Denver, Oakland. I mixed them up at the end. Let me tell you why. The Chargers have one of the best the Chargers have they got one of the best defenses in the league. I was about to say they had the best defense in that division, but the Denver Broncos probably has the best defense in that league. But the Chargers do have a really, really solid defense. You got Derwin James. I think he got injured, but he should be back at some point this season. You got Derwin James, you got Joey Bosa, you got Melvin Ingram. You know, you got some solid linebackers. You got Casey Hayward, outside corner, Pro Bowl corner. Then on the offensive side, you got Hunter Henry back. That should help. He missed all last year with an ACL injury. You got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams. You got Melvin Gordon, and then you got the other two little backup running backs. And then you got the old man Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
I do think when it's all said and done, Melvin Gordon will play for the Chargers. If not, then he'll just be traded. I think Melvin Gordon will be playing for somebody this season. I don't think he's going to take the Le'Veon Bell route. I could be wrong, but, that's just my gut feeling. Then you look at Kansas City. What do Kansas City have? Kansas City is all offense. They ain't got a lick of defense.
Well,
I mean, they got the Honey Badger.
Yes.
That's about it.
But think about it. It's not like even last year, even with that sorry defense, with a couple of more pieces, they was all right.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I mean, of course, you love the Patty, Pat Mahomes. You love Travis Kelsey. You
Mm-hmm.
love Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins.
That's it.
Then they get LaShawn McCoy. How big do you think that pickup be? Do you think LaShawn instantly is the number one back there?
I think LaShawn Inslee is number one back there, and I'm glad I drafted LaShawn McCoy. I don't know if it's in the league I'm in with you, but one of them leagues I drafted LaShawn McCoy.
Yeah.
I think he's coming in. Let me say, I don't think he gets number one spot week 1, but I think it's I get it maybe week 3, maybe.
Yeah.
This is.
I mean, LaShawn, he gets reunited with Andy Reid. Andy Reid drafted LaShawn McCoy back in Philadelphia. So, he knows he knows the offense. It's just a different little terminology, but that ain't nothing too hard, especially for a running back to learn. But LaShawn McCoy, he still does have some gas in his tank. We'll see how much, and he won't have to tote the load. With all those other backs in Kansas City, so that would be something good. Outside of that, I look at their defense, man. I don't think the Honey Badger is as good as he used to be. That's just my opinion. You gotta remember he was with the Houston Texans last year, and that defense.
Yeah.
Boy, that defense was some ass at the end of the year. I saw Nick Foles carve them up. That's with Clowney, Watt, Honey Badger. Jonathan Joseph. Didn't Jonathan Joseph, he the only good South Carolina player y'all really have had in a while.
Jonathan Joseph is whatever he taking, he need to ball it up and sell it. He got to be like his 13th year.
Yeah, he's been up there, but he's still playing at a pretty decent
and it's still
level.
Starting corner.
Yeah,
most guys at his age at this point, they move back to safety.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you got that. Then you look at that's my question. You know what I mean? Is they defensive side? I don't think their defense is going to be able to make enough stops when it really matters. And I think, especially if Melvin Gordon comes back to the Chargers are the better team. That's just my opinion. Now, for 3rd and 4th, it's a toss-up, honestly. I don't really care that much for John Gruden. I don't think he's that good of a head coach. I think the times have passed him. His one Super Bowl that he did win, that was Tony Dungy players. I already went over that a couple of times. Then you look at what they got going on in Oakland right now with Antonio Brown, the helmet issue. They defense is rocky. You know what I mean? We don't know what these rookies are going to be able to do for him. It's going to be a lot of growing pains, and I really don't think John Gruden really want to win like that. I think he wants to get a top draft pick because he wants to get rid of Derek Carr.
He do not like Derek Carr.
Yeah, so I don't see them doing anything. Now, for the Denver Broncos, they got a good defense, man. Bradley Chubb and Von Miller, that's a scary tandem.
Beast.
That's a very, very scary tandem. Offensively, the Broncos are always a zone run scheme type of team. You can put any damn running back there, and they're going to get, 1,500 yards rushing.
Easy.
But
you got Joe Flacco.
That's the thing. You got Joe Flacco, So what Joe Flacco will we get? Now, Playoff Joe is like Joe Namath with the mink on.
He is a monster.
He is, but regular season Joe, boy, that motherfucker is some ass. So Joe Flacco, but on the positive note, Joe, he has a better set of weapons around him in Denver with Emmanuel Sanders, Sutton. And then you look at the rookie tight end, Noah Fant. I'm really high on Noah Fant. I picked him up in a couple of my fantasy leagues. This kid can ball. So you got him. You got a solid running game behind him with Phillip Lindsay's and Freeman and those other running backs. And a decent offensive line. I think Joe, and with that defense, he don't have to do too much. He can manage the game, but when he need to spread the ball, he can do it with Emmanuel Sanders. I think the Broncos could surprise people this year. Do I think they're better than the Chiefs or the Chargers? No.
So I think the Broncos are going to have 5 wins.
And how many you got? I mean, I can see that 5 or 6. You know, I can see that.
I think the Raiders are going to have more wins than the Broncos because
Who?
I think the Raiders are going to have more wins than the Broncos. I
Well,
think
yeah,
what's
the
going to
Ravens are a
happen is
better team though.
yeah, but I think Derek Carr going to realize. I call it the Stephon, not Stephon. I call it the Let me use the NFL. I call it the Tom Brady, Randy Moss effect. I think Derek Carr going to say, "I got AB on my team. Throw the ball."
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you damn sure you better throw the ball to AB. Who else you throwing it to? Tyrell Williams?
All what's going to happen is AB going to get double and triple team, and somebody else going to step up. I think Derek Carr is going to have a great season, which is going to make his trade value go up, and that's what they're going to do to him.
Yeah.
They might keep him, but I think they want to let him ball out and trade him.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that as well, but you know, but that's how we got it. All right, move on to the NFC West. You know, you got the Seahawks, you got the Rams. It's really between those two teams.
Oh yeah.
Porn star Jimmy. You know, I really don't see too much from porn star Jimmy. I think the 49ers, they got soul food's gold. You know, when it's all said and done. And then for Arizona, they rebuilding. But I like what Arizona is doing. Kyler Murray. I want to see that offense. I want to see whether or not that offense can really work in the NFL. It's starting to look a little bit like Chip Kelly in a way. You know, it ain't so much tempo, but it's a new thing. It might work the first year, but year 2, everybody is on it and they know how to stop it. But I like Kyler Murray. I want to see what he can do. He do have some weapons still. He got David Johnson behind him, a solid running back. Then you got Christian Kirk. And then on the other side, you got Larry Fitzgerald. So he has some options. The only thing is he has no offensive line whatsoever.
No, I give the Cardinals 4 games. I think
Yeah.
that team, the offensive line is so sorry. And what people got to remember is, in college, he had statistically the best offensive line in college football to go to the worst offensive line in NFL football.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge change.
Yeah. Then you have the 49ers, like I said, Jarrett McKinley, another setback. They placed him on IR. They did get Tevin Coleman in the offseason. They still got Mike Bria. So they still got running backs. On the outside, though, they don't have the receivers, really. I mean, you got Marquise Goodwin, but he ain't really done it. Last year was supposed to be a breakout year for him. He ain't do shit. Then you got George,
I think
you got the tight end. Yeah, but to who, though? Dennis Pitta?
That third string quarterback that was playing.
Oh, you talking about Jimmy Garoppolo? No, Jimmy Garoppolo not losing no job. He's getting paid too much money. Yeah. So you got Jimmy G. You got Jimmy G, and then on the defensive side, I mean, you got Richard Sherman. They got some young talent on the defensive line, but that's about it.
Yeah, I actually think the Rams are going to go down. I think Seattle's going to be the one. I think the Rams are going to come in at 2.
Yeah, the Rams at 2. I could see that. But I just don't know about the Seahawks though. I like the Clowney. It made sense for him because they traded away Frank to Kansas City, if I'm not mistaken, the defensive end to Kansas City. I like Clowney, but the thing with Clowney is he hasn't had a double-digit sack season in his career. And he played alongside J.J. Watt. Now, I know J.J. Watt been banged up, but still, damn, you got to at least give me one.
But see,
one season.
And I said the same thing, too. And I didn't realize this until I try to give credit where credit due. I don't know if it was John Gruden or Mike Mill. One of the guys, might have been those guys. And they said what happens is the guys who know NFL, they watch NFL film. They don't watch TV. And they said what you don't see a lot of times, Connor was getting double teamed with a chip help.
Mm-hmm.
They go into a game, it was like, if J.J. Watt beat us, oh well. We ain't going to let Clowney beat us. because they treat J.J. Watt like the old man, like he ain't got it no more, you know.
So you were saying more teams are putting more importance
On
on
Clowney. They
Clowney?
were for the past 2 years. And they said it because J.J. Watt he's J.J. Watt, but he's not the J.J. Watt from the defensive MVP year. So
Okay,
if you look at film on J.J. Watt, he's getting single coverage.
Mm-hmm.
This is the left tackle, the right tackle.
Yeah.
The right tackle, just like right tackle, you got him. That's your man. And we're gonna double team Clowney. And remember, they had the good defensive. They got a good D tackle that was in the middle, the big fella.
Yeah.
Simpson, I want to say.
Yeah.
So sometimes the fullback come and help on him, but they said if J.J. Watt beat us, we'll live with it. We ain't gonna let Clowney beat us.
So do you see Clowney getting double-digit sacks in Seattle?
Yes, because I think having what's my man? What's the linebacker?
Bobby Wagner.
I think having Bobby Wagner is gonna free up some stuff. And I think Seattle gonna play Clowney more as the outside linebacker / defensive end more than Houston did.
Oh, okay. I mean, I like Seattle. I like they got a really, really good defense, you know. For them to be able to rebuild on the go the way they did, a lot of people, including myself, once Earl left, once Cam retired, you know, once, Michael Bennett left, all the Legion of Doom, once that got disbanded, a lot of people, like I said, including myself, thought that it was over for that defense, but they have steadfast, and Bobby Wagner, has continued to improve to be arguably the best middle linebacker in the NFL. You can argue between him or Kuechly.
That's it. Those two.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even close between nobody. Come on, boy, pedal hard.
Yeah. So, on the offensive side, though, they're a run-first team. They ran the ball a lot last year with Chris Carson and Rashad Penny and those guys. Can they keep it up? And then with Russell Wilson, can he get some more weapons? As of right now, only thing he has is Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. You know what I mean? So you really don't know what you got. So that's my only question is the passing game. I know what Russell gonna do. He's an elite quarterback, so he's gonna have to make water into wine, basically. But as far as the Rams, I don't know about Jared Goff. He still ain't proven to me. He seemed like a scheme guy, like depending on what coaching system he in, whether or not he's good or not. Then you have Todd Gurley. You have arthritis in the knees. That's scary to me for a running back.
Yeah.
That's very important. Then you look on the outside, you got Robert Woods, you got Cooper Kupp back.
Yeah.
You got Brandon Cooks, you know what I'm saying? So you got pretty much everybody else. They did lose 2 people on their offensive line. Now, their offensive line has been so good the last 2 years because of continuity. They had the same guys, but now it's a little shakeup. How would that affect the team? And then on the defensive side, you still got Aaron Donald. You got Talib. You know what I mean? You got a sound defense. They ain't as good as I thought that a lot of people thought they should be, especially last year when they had Sue, because they was giving up numbers. I'm talking about people was dropping them off with numbers. But when it's all said and done, I see Seattle winning this division.
Yep.
I see the Rams second, 49ers, then Cardinals.
I realized my Jared Goff. Well, that's what they're saying. Jared Goff is not Jared Goff is a robo quarterback. I didn't realize this until I was listening to preparing for the Super Bowl. They said, if you ever notice, the Patriots will wait to after 12 seconds to shift their defense. Because all season, Sean McVay has been telling him which receiver to look for.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus.
Yep. And that's what threw him off. That's why I said he's a system guy. Depending on what system he ain't that good. So, now we'll move on to the AFC South. You got Houston, the Colts, Jacksonville, Tennessee. I think if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Jacksonville 1, Houston 2, the Colts. I mean, not the Colts, but Tennessee, and then the Colts. The reason why I say Jacksonville, I know what I got on their defense. They got a legit defense still. You got Jalen Ramsey. You got you got the studs up front. Then they drafted a boy from Kentucky, Josh Allen, if I'm not mistaken.
He is
Defensive line.
he's a baller. The running back, right?
No. The defensive end
Oh
from
yeah, yeah,
Kentucky.
he's the first round pick.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yeah,
He is a stud. So
yeah.
they got some key guys on that defensive side. And I can't remember if it was Miles Jared that who retired from Jacksonville or taking a year off, or the other linebacker
Uh,
from Jacksonville. One of them has stepped away for a year for
whoa.
personal.
One of them, I think I want to say Miles. What's the guy? Jack. He's
Jack.
got a big contract extension.
Yeah, I think it is Miles Jack.
Yeah,
But so
he's got a big contract extension.
yeah, so you got that, but then on the offensive side, you got Saint Nick. You got Nick Foles. Nick Foles is is a tremendous upgrade from your boy Blake Bortles.
Trash.
So you got Jake, you got Nick Foles, then Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette has came out and said he's done lost at least 20 pounds. He's more in shape. He's really done took the time to reflect on his NFL career as of right now, and he's more determined to prove himself. So I expect a bounce back year from Leonard Fournette. Now the real thing is the wide receivers. Nick Foles loves the tight ends and big wide receivers. Jacksonville really don't have that. So how are they going to be able to make those deep throws? Because Nick Foles like to stretch the field. He's a gambler. He'll throw it when he shouldn't. So how would the passing game develop?
Don't the Jaguars still have Marquise Lee?
I think so. The only thing is, Marquise Lee stays hurt.
No, not right now, son. You tell him a little bit. Keep running your bike.
He stays hurt. But my issue is they passing game. What can they do to spread the ball around to stretch the field? Because
I think Nick Foles gonna do it.
I ain't got no issue with Nick Foles. My only thing is I don't think Nick Foles will be the Nick Foles from Philly because it's a different system. So if you're expecting, the numbers that he was putting up every game, I don't think it'll be that. I think it's more so defense. You know what I mean? I think that's what's gonna really drive this Jacksonville Jaguars team. Yeah, so they got Marquise Lee, D.D. Westbrook, C.J. Board, D.J. Clark, Chris Coney, and Keenan Cole.
Okay.
Those are the wide receivers. So that just those names don't scare me. I mean, do they scare you? You know what I mean? They fast guys, but they slow.
Honestly, I have enough faith. That's not my team, but I think Nick Foles is a good enough quarterback to make it.
Yeah.
I believe that.
I mean, I got them winning the division. Second, I got the Houston Texans. Deshaun Watson. They still ain't give the man no offensive line help when they traded Clowney.
Nope. They should have learned that from the Darren Colt.
Yeah, they got finesse.
Yeah.
Boy, did they get finesse. It was put up that the players that they traded for Clowney, Madden wouldn't even have accepted it. You know what I mean? So a video game got more sense than you. But what you did get, I like Kenny Stills because you look at Will Fuller, he stays hurt. We already know what DeAndre Hopkins is. He's arguably, you can make a case that he's the best wide receiver in the league.
Yeah. Hey, boy, turn it around.
Yeah, outside of A-boy turning around, he's the best wide receiver in the league.
I give it to him. If he's not the best, he in the conversation for the best.
Yeah, most definitely. So you got DeAndre Hopkins, you got Will Fuller, you got Kiki Corky or something along those lines, but he stayed hurt too. He like a little slot receiver. But when you get Kenny Stills, I like Kenny Stills. I think when it's all said and done, Kenny Stills will be their number 2. I really like that move. I got Kenny Stills in one of my drafts as well. So then, as far as the running back situation, didn't they get Carlos Hyde?
I don't know. That's what I don't understand about them. Let me see.
I mean, I know they got Duke
I don't see them out
Johnson.
there trying to get. Now, if they want to run them at, let me see. They need to go pick up Melvin Gordon, but they haven't had a. Well, they got Blue had a couple of decent,
Yeah, but they ain't
but
had a
yeah,
legit. They ain't had a legit running back since Arian Foster. Let's
they don't
just
even
be
try to get
honest.
one out of the draft.
Yeah,
What
I
are they
know. Yeah,
doing?
so yeah, they got Carlos Hyde.
Okay.
So yeah, they traded for Carlos Hyde, and they got Duke Johnson, and that's about it. A bunch of other no names.
Okay.
Um, I mean that's pretty much it. They don't have. They got Jordan Thomas, Jordan Akins. Those are they tight ends.
I
They
think I
really
think
don't.
I think Carlos Hyde kind of underrated. I think Carlos Hyde gonna be the.
Man, Carlos Hyde ain't been the same since he left the Bay Area. Let's just be honest. He went to Cleveland. They let him go because Nick Chubb outperformed him.
Yeah.
Sent his ass down to Jacksonville. Jacksonville didn't want him last year when Fournette was out. So Carlos Hyde ain't that guy no more.
But see,
Offensive line,
I wonder is it Carlos Hyde off the field that's getting them cut, or Carlos Hyde on the field that's getting them cut? On the field, I don't care, but off the field, I wonder if he causing confusion.
yeah. I would say this though on the defensive side. I mean, you lose Clowney, you lose a lot, and you ain't replacing that with just one person. But they did get Bradley Roby. That was a nice pickup. You still got Jonathan Joseph, but that defense is gonna take a step back. The Texans are gonna win this year in a lot of shootouts.
Okay.
It's gonna be high scoring games for them to win. They are offense driven team. Like you said before, JJ Watt ain't the same guy that he used to be. So,
Yep.
what I mean? Then with no Clowney on the other side of you, we'll see. Now to the next team, the Tennessee Titans. I don't believe in Mariota. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback. He's like Jameis Winston to me. Both are scrubs. So you got Tennessee. They got a good defense. They got a sound defense. Then you got Derrick Henry, Mister Two Left Feet. What Derrick Henry will you get? Will you get the Derrick Henry that finished last year strong in the last 4 games, or will you get the Derrick Henry that we know that's just slow run into each other? You know what I mean? Like what are you getting?
I think I like Derrick Henry, man. I really like Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry gonna have a breakout year. I wish to the draft of the darn quarterback because I hate Mariota. I think Mariota is
Yeah, and I mean they got Ryan Tannehill, but I mean that ain't saying much
they ain't
neither.
saying they yeah.
So then you got them, and then last but not least, you got the Colts, who came into this year with the healthy Andrew Luck's quote unquote. They was Super Bowl favorites. They had good odds.
Yeah.
But you lose Andrew Luck, and this just goes to the importance of building your team around your offensive line and defensive line. Teams that win Super Bowls win in the trenches. And without an offensive line, I don't give a fuck who is back there. You're going to get killed. And Andrew Luck got killed for years. The GM that they used to have didn't draft an offensive lineman. And when he did, it was a 7th rounder.
Yep.
Nothing higher. When they
Yep.
finally got a competent GM who actually put talent around him, it was too late. His body was done.
Yeah.
So those fans that was booing, out of raw emotion or whatever the case may be, you need to sit back and think about it. You had Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck, and you got what, one Super Bowl when you should have had more.
You should have.
But
But
I
I
don't
don't have
feel.
them Peyton Manning defense was all time booty.
Yeah, they was,
Except when
they
they had
was,
Bob Sanders who was balling a little bit.
but he got hurt
Yeah.
constantly, and then they had what's my boy on the defensive line? I can't think of his name.
Big guy, not Matthews. I think he's in Texas, right? I think he's a Texas Longhorn. Had a whole bunch of sacks.
Yeah, I can't think of
Oh
his name, but
yeah,
that's all they had.
man. Yeah. He was good.
You know, they was an offensive driven team, and that's the same way that they was trying to do it this year. Well, with Andrew Luck, but then they started moving towards they want to get him skill players. They want to give him defense. No, get the motherfucker the offensive line.
Yeah.
If you want to get him anything, get this motherfucker some help on the offensive line. Like, god damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, this motherfucker was getting hit like David Carr used to when the Texans first came out. You know, they was abusing that motherfucker down there when the Texans first came into the
NFL. They think he got the most sacks and like a time, you know, like ever. Man.
Yeah,
exactly. They put on that guy.
My goodness, it was crazy. So you got that. You know, the Colts, they're gonna be picking in the draft early in the year. I know you high on Jacoby Brissett. I'm really not so, and hence the coaching staff isn't as well. As you reported earlier, they signed Brian Hoyer to a 3-year deal, $12 million.
Brian Hoyer, I would have just give Jacoby Brissett an extension.
Yeah. Jeez. Sorry, my God. They tanking for Tua. All right. So next we have the NFC South, which is arguably one of the best divisions in the league. Usually you do have 3 playoff teams that make it out of this division. When you have the Saints, the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Bucks. I like the Saints, you know, number one. Then, you know, depending on the health of Cam and they offensive line, I think the Panthers can be the second best team in this division. Then you have the Falcons. And the Bucks are last, of course. With the Saints, it's Drew Brees. You know, you looked at it last year, Drew Brees, before, you know, at the beginning of the season, he was a man on fire, you know. But then once it came to the end of the season, his arm started to go down. The playoffs, he wasn't the same. Then on top of that, you lose Mark Ingram. That's going to be a big loss.
Huge.
I think that's going to hurt a lot more than what people believe. Mark Ingram allowed them not to, because as good as Kamara is, he ain't no 25 to 30 guy, you know.
No.
He ain't running it through there. On top of that, they need somebody other than Michael Thomas.
Yep.
If all you have is Michael Thomas, eventually that's gonna stop. You know, you need a number 2. I know they got.
But they tried. That's why I gotta give it to them. Who the GM is? They tried it with Dez, and I think Dez would have made a good number 2. He just got hurt in practice.
Dez ain't a number 2 in the league no more, my guy.
Well, last year he was. I think he'd been a good number 2 for what the
Saints.
For what the Saints need.
Dez can't get no separation. That was his issue in Dallas. Yeah, he can't get separation.
That's because he's the number 1 receiver. So now you got Dez playing the number 2 corner.
Not necessarily. Teams don't follow like they used to. It ain't like you got Champ Bailey on the other side and he gonna shadow the number 1 the whole game. You very rarely see that. Jalen Ramsey has came out and said that week 1 when they play the Chiefs, he's gonna follow Tyreek Hill the whole game. Very rarely. Guys nowadays, if you line up on their side, they cover you. And, you know, that's just how it is. It ain't like the old days when you had the Champ Baileys, you know, the Deions and those. So, but yeah, I mean, defensively, you know, I mean, they solid. They ain't great, but they solid. You know, you got Lattimore, you got Cam Jordan. You know what I mean? You know, they're a solid team, you know, on the defensive side, but they offensive driven. But my questions with the Saints is the loss of Mark Ingram, the lack of a second option, you know, and then Drew Brees wear and tear. He's 40 now, or 40 plus now, if I'm not mistaken. Drew Brees is up there, so
he's an old man.
Yeah, he is. So, I mean, the beginning of the season, you know, I think he'll be fine. You know, it's just my questions towards the end. But I think they can last long enough where they can win the division again. Secondly, to the Carolina Panthers, Cam like the Houston. Carolina like Houston. They need an offensive line. Cam got sacked 3 times in a preseason game. That's unacceptable. Now, I know Cam was playing hero ball.
Yeah.
In the preseason, which is just dumbfounded, but they need help on that offensive line, man.
Well, they had help. They brought in the big boy, the big center, but I just don't know whether they just had it all together. Cause I know for me,
because my 1 through 4 picks is I got Panthers, Saints, Falcons, Buccaneers.
Yeah.
I think Cam's gonna get comeback player of the year. Well, he can't get comeback player of the year. Yes, he can.
Yeah, because he got hurt.
He got hurt.
But
I think Cam will get comeback player of the year.
I mean, my thing with the Panthers is I have a few less concerns about them. It's just their defense is good. Their front seven is really good. You get Jared McCoy from Tampa Bay. You already got the Short and all the other guys already there.
Yes.
Then you got Kuechly. Only thing is Kuechly gets concussions a little too much.
But they all gonna be missing Thomas Davis.
Yes, I feel though Thomas Davis should have retired a Panther.
Yeah,
Like
I
that
don't know.
was
I
a
don't know why they let him
disgrace
go.
that he
I
let.
don't know whether it was a money issue or what, but he
Yeah,
should.
but
Uh,
he signed a 1-year deal, if I'm not mistaken, to the Chargers. So I mean, it couldn't have been that much money. They just wanted to move on. They did draft Brian Burns from Florida State, rookie.
I heard that cat
So
is balling. And he jumped off the TV when I was watching them the preseason game.
Yeah, I mean he looks good. And their secondary is suspect. You got Eric Reed back there, but I mean that's about it. The corners is kind of suspect. Those are my issues for them on the defensive side. But they defense is good enough to win games without, most definitely. Offensively, they have an offensive line, Merrill. And then another thing is, all you have is Christian McCaffrey. You ain't have no receivers. We don't know what DJ Moore is.
I think
He's a
DJ
rookie
more that guy.
I hope he is, but we don't know that for sure yet. We don't know if he can be a number one. Curtis Samuel, he's not even a wide receiver. He's
not. He is not.
You know, I mean, they got him out there, but he's really a running back, a little,
he's a glorified kick
gadget guy. Yeah.
He's Dante Hall 2019.
Exactly. Then you got Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen once was, arguably one of the top tight ends in the league. You could say he was top 3,
Yeah.
But since then, Greg Olsen has broke his foot like 3 times in 2 years. You know what I mean?
He got the curse, man. And whenever he out there, he reminds you that he's one of the top tight ends. Then he get hurt again.
Exactly. So, you just don't know, about him. So those are my concerns about the Panthers. Now, the Falcons, injuries has caused them a lot of issues as well. Their defense is shaky. Yeah, I don't know what Vic Beasley is anymore. He used to be a excellent edge rusher, but since that Super Bowl, he's, fell down. You got Keanu Neal.
Under the radar.
Yeah, you got Keanu Neal, one of the best young safeties in the league from the University of Florida. Secondary, as far as their cornerbacks, they suspect. They can be beat. And then on the offensive side, you got Matt Ryan and Julio.
Yeah.
You got Freeman and you got Calvin Ridley. Like, they got the offense. As long as Freeman can stay healthy, they have the offense to compete with anybody. I like the matchup with Julio and Ridley. You don't even think about Sanu no more, but he's still there. He's still a solid wide receiver, number 2. But Calvin Ridley has really took a lot of pressure off of Julio Jones and really allowed Matt Ryan to look elsewhere other than Julio. But when you get in the red zone, Matt Ryan, you need to throw Julio the damn ball.
Julio. Throw it to him.
Now, that is so crazy how you cannot get this man the ball in the red zone. I do not understand that. Like, to
nobody
save
gets
my life.
Well, maybe it's me. Because I think they have one of the worst red zone offenses.
Yeah, they do. So my thing with the Falcons is staying healthy, and it really revolves around Devontae Freeman. He hasn't been healthy in the last couple of years, so that really hurt them. But yeah, exactly. But to their defense, they had Telvin Coleman to take some of that pressure off. They don't have him no more. He's in San Francisco now. So, Devontae Freeman is going to be the key to them. If he can stay healthy and provide them the catches out the backfield and what he can do between the tackles, they can have one of the best offenses in the league. Because you got Julio, Sanu, and Calvin Ridley. That's one of the best wide receiver tandems in the NFL. You know what I mean? So, and they I mean, they don't have a tight end. They ain't have a tight end since the great Tony Gonzalez left. But Austin Hooper, some people are really high on him. Me, not so much. But yeah, and then Tampa Bay, bro. Tampa Bay is a wasteland. You know, for all my Bucs fans out there, I'm sorry, but Jameis Winston isn't the answer. He's terrible.
Man.
Him and Mariota both are terrible. You know what I mean?
This is my thing about Jameis. I think Jameis Winston is a way better quarterback than Mariota. Just that Jameis Winston, his ups and downs is just so drastic.
Jameis Winston is Felipe Franks.
I'm not gonna go that far.
No, he is. Jameis Winston is Felipe Franks. He has the arm. He has the size. He can run a little bit. He can make the throws. But the motherfucker decision making is ludicrous. You know what I mean? This guy, I don't understand it. One day he's on, the next day he's off. Could you believe this, though? Last year, when he was suspended those 4 games for that little Uber incidents, that offense was the best that it was all year behind Fitzpatrick. Yep. Fitzpatrick ran that offense better than Jameis Winston. Fitzpatrick found Deshaun Jackson. Fitzpatrick found Mike Evans.
He just threw it to the open man. That's all he did. Throw the ball to the open man.
That's it. You know, you got and then but another thing though, to Jameis' defense, they don't have a running game. Peyton Barber ain't it. You know.
Ever since Doug Martin, aka Mighty Mouse, got caught up, they ain't been the same.
Yeah, they ain't been the same. They don't have a running game. OJ Howard, a high draft pick, hasn't really stepped up like they thought he should, or maybe it's Jameis ain't getting it to him, but I don't know. He doesn't flash to me. Alabama product doesn't flash to me. So you know you got that. Then on the defensive side, you let Jerry McCoy go, but you bring in Adama Suh. Is that gonna make a difference? I don't think so. You got Levante David as the linebacker. He's one of the best linebackers. I ain't gonna say best, but he's a good linebacker.
Yeah.
And then secondary is just up for grabs. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they got in their secondary. I mean, they drafted Vernon Hargreaves from the University of Florida as a high draft pick, but he hasn't turned out to be that lockdown corner that a lot of people thought he would be at this level. So it's just I don't know about this team, but I one thing I would stand by to this day is Jameis Winston isn't the answer for that team. I know they just brought in Bruce Arians, so they're gonna run a new offense, so maybe that can help him out. Maybe he just didn't have the right coaching. I don't know, but I don't think it's Jameis Winston. But maybe Bruce can untap something that I can't see, and maybe we'll see this year.
Yeah, you're right. I'm a little bit more high on Jameis Winston than you. I think Jameis Winston is a guy. I think the best thing for Jameis Winston is Byron Leftwich right now being his quarterback coach.
Yeah,
and having
Bruce
being the head coach. I think now we're gonna find out who Jameis Winston is. If Jameis Winston can't cover these guys, I think it's a wrap. Well,
yeah.
Not rap for his career.
Yeah, I mean, he'll always land somewhere as a backup. You mean, look at Josh McCown. Been playing for 30 years now, it seems like.
All right.
But, all right. So, with all that being said, we done broke down each division, team by team, gave our previews of where each team will land at. Right now, on September the 2nd, Marvin, who will be playing in Miami for the Super Bowl? Who are your 2 teams?
My 2 teams, I'm going to take my bias out. I think it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus Carolina Panthers.
Kansas City Chiefs versus the Carolina Panthers?
You heard it here first.
Wow. Okay, my guy.
In the NFC Championship, the NFC Championship game gonna be Green Bay versus Carolina.
And Carolina beats Green Bay.
Carolina beats Green Bay.
All right, I'm gonna hold you to it. My Super Bowl pick is the New England Patriots versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah, I mean, until somebody beat them, then I can't. As long as Tom Brady is healthy, they going to the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't believe in Andy Reid. Andy Reid will find a way to choke in the playoffs like he normally does. Timeout issues or whatever the case may be. And then on the NFC side, I just think we're too talented of a team not to make it to the Super Bowl. And I think as long as Carson Wentz stays healthy, then we will. That's not me being biased or anything. That's just me looking at how good this Philadelphia Eagles team is. They're really talented at every area, offensive line and defensive line, and that's what wins in the NFL is those two positions. So with that being said, this has been the first episode of Around the Way Sports, season 2, episode 1. For here on out, every week I'm gonna be breaking down the NFL games. So we got the first game this upcoming Thursday. The Green Bay Packers face the Chicago Bears. I already know who Marvin believes going to win that.
Easy.
But we'll say that for next week's. Anything you want to say to the people, Marvin?
Thank you, guys. I can be found at Marvin Sports is Life on all platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube. I do a live Facebook feed every Wednesday. You guys can join in comments. I do talk trash. I do clap back. So I'm ready for all smoke. Thanks for having me on your platform, man. And I think we'll be doing a few more tag teams.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you having me. Yo, this has been another episode of Around the Way Sports. You have a good one.